Here we start the next phase, the dreaded cabinet cleaning. First thing I need to do is to remove everything from there. The tweeters up there, the speaker, front grille, the front plastic rail, everything that will come off. These things have to come off. All this will come off. The logo. So that's the first step. Better get on with it. So here we have all the frills that have been removed. All the screws are suitably rusty. They need to be de-rusted. There's the logo, which is in good shape. Make sure you keep everything properly. This frame has no cracks in it. It just needs some cleaning and polishing. These are actually quite easy to do. So that's that. Here's the speaker. The main speaker is actually perfect. Again, some cleaning. But what I like most about this is that the grill cloth is quite recoverable. I'm sure I can sort that out without a problem. Alright. Those little side things. Now these side things you've got to be careful. They've got a nail in there, and I chipped a bit of the veneer off when I took one out before I knew how this thing was connected. It's always good to study them. These are the two electrostatic tweeters. I'll keep them very carefully stored so we don't mess anything up. And of course, the bottom. So these things are all in pretty good shape. Now let's show you the actual cabinet. It looks like it's undergoing surgery, and it is. There was a crack on both sides of this chipboard they have under here. So I just decided to reinforce it with some wood glue. And I'll leave it to dry. But as you can see, everything that's easily removable has been removed. I'll leave the antenna in there for now. I might even desolder that. So now I'll just let this dry. And that piece of chipboard, or that piece of veneer that came off, is that. So that needs to be fixed. Alright, drying time. And then comes the sandpaper. Lovely. Here we have all the pieces of the puzzle, suitably cleaned, restored, and the result is quite exceptional. This front rim is a plastic of sorts, pretty aged obviously. It has the golden trim on it. In this case it's actually stuck to it, so this was actually quite easy to clean, and it came out pretty nice. The speaker is in very good condition. Probably will replace the wires depending on the length. These are the two tweeters, electrostatic tweeters. If you see the underside, you may have noticed I haven't tested these yet. We'll see what happens when we connect it up. We have those two side grills that come out pretty well. These clean very, very easily. The underside is there, and then as for the cloth itself, it's washed nicely. Now, the way I wash this actually is just in the bath with a hand shower, and a little brush and some shaving foam. You soak the foam right in there and just give it a light brushing, and it seems to take a lot of the stuff out. You got to be careful you don't wet it too much, because this is the sort of wood that this is plyboard, whatever it's called, and if it soaks, you've got a problem. Now the best part is the case itself, the cabinet itself, which came out brilliantly. All I did was wet sand down the old lacquer, and I covered up a few spots that were in the way. And then I just sprayed more lacquer on it, sanded again with wet sand, sprayed it again. This is about 4 coats of lacquer with the wet sanding in between. There are very, very few spots that are visible. The underside was glued, as I mentioned. But as far as spots are concerned, I mean, there's that sort of thing there, which you can hardly see from any distance. So it's basically brilliantly new. And then I used some, what is it, oil, some teak oil I think it's called, just to give it the shine and clean it up completely. So next step is put all this together and we'll soon see the result. All the screws used in this are in pretty abysmal shape with a lot of rust on them, so I'm going to put them through some de-ruster and renew them before I connect everything up. And here's the final result. As usual, I've lost some video in putting this thing together, but nothing too dramatic. All the parts were suitably cleaned, these screws were de-rusted, and everything went back onto the repolished or revarnished cabinet. So the result is actually quite amazing. All the switches came out beautifully cleaned, mostly shiny. The grit comes out, some of the patina of age is still there, which is fine. Generally a pretty good result. The tuning eye works very well, pretty bright. Grill cloth came out beautifully. No stains whatsoever. And then the cabinet, well, look for yourself. A few coats of varnish with suitable wet sanding in between. 1 or 2 dings are still visible, but covered with the varnish they practically disappear. So overall we've got a pretty good radio here. And the sound's not too bad either. That hi-fi button gives it a good boost. Those electrostatic tweeters give it that high end that the main speaker can't handle. It's pretty subtle, but it does make a difference. So overall, I'm pretty pleased, and I think it's time to get on to the next one, I think. The thing about this radio is that it does only have long wave, medium wave and FM. There is no shortwave, and I restore them mainly for the FM, but I also like to have shortwave because that is one band where I do get something here in Madeira. Medium wave is practically dead, long wave is completely dead, and although the radio receives them, there's nothing to receive. So generally I go for radios with shortwave and FM, but this one is an exception, and this is a nice little radio that I'm pretty pleased with. Alright, thanks for watching. See you soon.